As a Muslim, I have fond memories of Bill Maher lecturing Muslims at the height of the Al-Qaeda and ISIS threats on the need for my community to condemn terrorism and speak out against the extremism in our midst, as if many of us Muslims weren't already doing that, and as if Muslims were uniquely violent. Well, Maher is doing the same lazy, offensive routine now with black people and black crime. Check out last week's episode of Real Time on HBO.
Like Chicago, like most of the shootings are young black men killing other young black men. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, much more than what the cops do. Why doesn't anybody talk about that? Well, I mean, why aren't there, 100 giant black celebrities who would have the respect of those people saying, what are you doing to yourselves? Why are you killing each other?
This is no way to live. This dishonors our community. Come on. We're better than this.
Right. I feel like it's never addressed.
How many racist tropes can you fit into one Bill Maher clip? First off, Chicago? Really? I mean, it's the predictable go-to criminal dystopia for right-wingers, but that's not the reality. Chicago isn't even in the top 10 or top 20 deadliest cities in America. It ranks below cities in red states like Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Columbus, Georgia. And yet Chicago, with its majority-minority population and its progressive black mayor-elect, is the place that people like Bill Maher always want to talk about and fearmonger about. Wonder why. Second, the whole black people killing other black people, black-on-black crime. Are you kidding me? White people kill other white people at almost the same rate that black people kill other black people. And yet you never hear anyone complaining on TV about white-on-white crime. So these aren't points of sage wisdom from Maher. They're classic racist dog whistles. Finally, there's Maher's canard, why don't prominent black people speak out against black violence, like, say, Maher and his guest, the black conservative economist and podcaster Glenn Loury? I feel like it's never addressed, he says in that clip. Well, aside from the typical double standards, aside from the why don't white leaders speak out against white child sex offenders or white serial killers or white domestic terrorists, it's demonstrably and offensively wrong to suggest that black public figures aren't trying to tackle or condemn gun violence. Many have done so here on this show. I mean, does Bill Maher not know any black leaders? If he wants to hear from a black public figure about black violence, quote unquote, why doesn't he, I don't know, ask them? Maybe it's because he could just ask Glenn Loury, who will tell Maher what he wants to hear. Does Maher even have access to Google, I wonder? Because black leaders have been speaking out and organizing against gun violence in their communities for years. Again, and again, and again, and again. As journalist Michael Harriot said in a Twitter thread responding to the HBO host, when black people are doing something, I never see Bill Maher there. Fox News never shows up at the Stop the Violence march. He's right. That Bill Maher thinks black people aren't addressing gun violence in their communities tells you much more about Bill Maher than it tells you about black people.